Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jessica Jolio, and I am joined by the amazing Suki Fuller, who, in addition to being a badass, I will have her introduce herself, is one of my dearest friends. And the whole idea to kind of hop on kind of Zoom and record this session came from this marathon phone call we were having recently, where Suki was gushing to me about Adidas and how great their fitness gear is. But then she went on a whole tangent about how amazing their creator club loyalty program is. And as a marketer, I thought, you know what? It's so rare that we hear people kind of gushing about something a company is doing. So I thought, let's get Suki on. Let's have her break down why this loyalty program is so amazing. But then also, as someone who's an expert in strategic and competitive intelligence and all things data, I thought she could drop a little knowledge on top of that. So, Suki, why don't you introduce yourself and then we'll get into it?
I think you did a good enough introduction of me, Jess. My background, strategic and competitive intelligence, also formerly national security. So I am trained to really tell the story of data. That's what I tell everybody. That's what I do. And yes, our telephone calls are always marathon, but this one in particular was epic. So,
It was 5 hours long. I mean, get yourself a friend in your life that you can speak with for 5 hours on the phone about anything and everything. It is amazing.
especially when we said, "Oh yeah, I gotta go. Oh yeah, I gotta go." And that was about an hour in. We're like, "Oh yeah, no." And then 5 hours.
4 hours later. But yeah, so tell
But
me, okay, so you're really in, you're really into fitness, and how, like, what made you want to shop with Adidas in the first place?
I don't know if I'm into fitness. I'd say I'm getting into fitness. I'm getting back into fitness. So I've worn, and it's really weird when I say Adidas, it sounds wrong to my ear. But when I say Adidas, it also sounds wrong to my ear. So excuse me if I flip between both.
Well, see, the thing is, so I interviewed with Reebok for their marketing rotational program at the very beginning of my career. And Reebok was acquired by Adidas. And I met all of these fabulous Germans from HQ that were there as part of the interview. And they kept saying Adidas, Adidas, like pronounce it correctly.
Yeah.
Now it is burned. And I didn't actually take the job, for the record, but it was, it left a lasting impression on me, shall we say.
I used to live right down the street from their headquarters when I lived in Germany. So, and you have Reebok and Adidas
You can
basically across
pronounce
the
it
river from
however
each
you
other.
want to. If you want to call it Adidas, Adidas, you pronounce it however you
Yeah, however it comes out of my mouth at that time. But the really ironic thing is, in that particular town, you can tell who works where
need.
because they'll be all kitted out. And I used to always go there to the headquarters and buy stuff because you can go to like their outlet. It's basically headquarters had this really fabulous outlet. But I've been wearing their stuff since I was a kid. I mean, they were like the football shoes. We're talking football, soccer, European football.
Yep.
Um, Football that the rest of the world plays, not just Americans.
As two Americans here, although you are actually, we're both dual citizens now. I can
Yes, we
finally see
are.
that.
The British American and the American British.
Yes, exactly. There is
But
a difference.
but yeah, I've been wearing this stuff since I was a kid. I mean, like back in the day, they had like sambas and just it's and then a freaking Run DMC came out with my Adidas, so then everybody started wearing them, and that's when really they took off in popularity. But I always liked their clothes. Their athletic gear always fit me better. It's really weird because sometimes you can get gear and you think, oh, this really fits really well, and then you'll try on something else. And for me, I used to sometimes get like New Balance hoodies, and they were really, really nice. But then I got an Adidas one, an Adidas one. And that thing was like, oh, I'm in heaven.
So,
And the
yeah.
sports bras, it all started with the sports bras. It was the sports bras, the shoes, and the tights. And I gotta say, they probably grabbed me maybe heavily back in like the early 2000s.
Which I have to
So
think you were an early adopter, because I've been reading up on some of their recent annual reports in preparation for this interview. Because you know me, I chronic over prepare. Guilty. But actually, a lot of what in recent years, marketing to women specifically has become a huge business strategy for the company, and specifically the sports bra category, because the company cited in their 2019 annual report working with the Stella McCartney line to create kind of post mastectomy kind of sports bras, and specifically also introducing into their stores actually bra fitting for sports bras for women, which
yeah,
I think is pretty progressive, because you see that happening in like a Nordstrom or an actual kind of retail store, department store, but seeing that happen for a sportswear brand is pretty amazing.
yeah, and I can't remember. I want to say, I don't remember what year it was, but I bought a Stella McCartney. It was, I think it was the first year that they had her brand, and I bought Stella McCartney sports bra, and it fit really well. And it wasn't an underwire bra or a sports bra or anything, and wasn't a racer back. It was just a regular strap. And there was also these little shoes. I still have the sports bra, although my boobs are much bigger now. Um, but the wish is to get back to that size. Um, and there were these little ballet shoes, and they were like perfect. I still have those. The elastic is like really well worn, but they were the most comfortable, like just sort of post workout, pre workout shoes. And that, I think that's when they really like kind of like stuck the fork in and was like, you're done. You are ours forever and ever and ever. And once I bought that, I was like, oh, this fits really well. Every time after that, I went to buy a sports bra elsewhere, New Balance, you name it, everybody wasn't working. I was like, this isn't working for me. And then when I got sneakers, I was like, I'm never going back. Everybody is dead to me. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I will buy a pair of sneakers. And with Adidas now, if you buy a pair of sneakers, you try them on, they're the wrong size. Like I bought sneakers, bought them the wrong size. That was really funny. Bought them a full size too big.
No.
And that was the beginning of the lockdown. I'd send them back. But so at the
Like
same
worse than
time,
being in lockdown, needing new shoes and having to wait for that kind of
yeah,
shipping.
and that's exactly. It's like I got online and I was talking to a person and I was like, "Here's the deal, I ordered these shoes and then I have to do the exchange, but I really need." And they sent the shoes to me before I even they got the other ones back. So I
That's
was
amazing
without them
customer
for like,
experience. Yeah.
yeah, and that was the beginning of my creator club journey.
Well, what I was thinking about as you were speaking is, you're talking going all the way back to like 2000 and before. And the interesting thing is like how you're speaking about the brand, like your love for the brand, the quality of the brand, like you are essentially the customer that like any business would like really want, right? Your loyalty, kind of your love for the
Just send me
brand.
free stuff, free
Well,
stuff.
but exactly, but like before kind of rise in kind of, digital and social and these loyalty programs, these kind of companies wouldn't really have, maybe they have CRM data on you, but how are they actually, they probably were trying to action on it with like direct mail or, not really syncing up the dots. So I think that's why the creator club really makes sense, because it's
Yeah.
really the next evolution for the business to try and essentially connect the experience with you across multiple touch points. So talk to me about the Creator Club program. What made you want to sign up and what's your experience been like in it?
It's really amazing that probably before the lockdown, I wouldn't have signed up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because when you are buying things, I would just buy it in the store. And they open the Adidas store here. And so, but if you go in there, it's like, oh, you're part of the club, you get points. Never thought about it before. But then just because of the lockdown, it was, well, I could buy this via Sports Direct or some other retailer. But then it was like, well, let me go to the actual website and see, because most of the time you think if you buy direct from the vendor, sometimes it's more expensive. You can go to, a third party and you can get it cheaper. And I'm like, oh, let me go to Adidas site. Then I found the Adidas outlet. And
Uh-oh. You
it's
know me.
on their
Don't
website.
don't tempt me with a good deal. Every time.
Exactly. It was like, suck you in. And then I was like, well, let me just see. And then before you know it, it's like the Creator Club, and they didn't even have a pop up. It was just, like the Creator Club. And I was like, well, what's this?
It has a really cool name to it. It's different
Yeah.
from other kind of brand loyalty programs. It doesn't say the word loyalty program in it. Makes it sound
Yeah.
cooler.
It makes it you are in a club. That's just it. You are actually in a club. And when you look at it, it's like, oh, you get points for a review. So then it incentivizes you to actually leave a review of a product you buy. And even if the review is bad, they still accept it. But
Mhm.
what people don't realize, and this is kind of sneaky of them, is that they do share those review across platforms. So if you leave a review on their site, you could go to Sports Direct and your review will be on Sports Direct for that product because nobody has left a review on Sports Direct. So you can go and they'll say this Adidas, jacket, and it'll be like reviews, and it'll say da da da, this is what this person said, taken from adidas.com.
So I wonder if they're using something like Trustpilot or some kind of software
Yeah,
like that to syndicate it across.
yeah.
And apologies to anyone who's seeing this crazy. We're having a sunny day in London.
It is really unnatural.
I
I
look
know,
like
like
I
the
look like I'm
sun
filtered.
keeps coming in. It's like, if I go here, it's like,
I'm just
woo!
rotating around my living room. It's
Yeah,
all
it's
good.
like, let me move ever so slightly, but at the same time, we do want to still be in the sun, don't we? We're like,
Oh,
oh, I really want to suck that up.
I was just standing in my kitchen in direct sunlight while I was making coffee earlier. I was like,
Yeah, let's get it while it's here.
yeah, but what I think is interesting, so sorry, bringing it back to Creator Club, it's in a way, they're using a points-based system to incentivize you to complete actions, right? And I
Yep.
also noticed there's 4 different tiers in the club. So the points, what do the points bring you into new tiers? Do they
Oh,
unlock
oh,
discounts? What do they do?
oh, yes. Oh, yes. The first tier is like complete your profile. and and I mean, by that point they already have your name and they already have your email address.
Mhm.
And then it's like complete your profile. You can put in your, I don't think address and credit card information counts as anything. That'll populate when you buy something. But put in your birthday. And that is, if you put your birthday in, you will get a discount on your birthday.
Love that. Yeah,
It's
I
like a
mean, the
birthday.
birthday has
Everybody does
become
that one.
the birthday
But
for years has become the new marketing kind of thing, treat yourself on your birthday kind of thing, and everyone kind of throwing discount codes at you. I don't
yeah,
hate
so
it.
I'm like, so I put my birthday in. Of course, I'm evil. I always put in a different year. So as long as I'm still legal, I will put in, I don't ever put in I'm 13, but I will definitely put in like 2 or 3 years below or 2 or 3. I will just make it a different year because Facebook doesn't have my true date of birth
Yeah,
either.
you just don't want it's not like that you want to be age 30 forever. It's that you just don't want people to to be able to match
Well,
it.
I mean, I'll take age 30 forever, but but maybe not when it comes down to, like catering to what I need, like 30 and she needs that really heavy knee brace. What's going on?
So I guess a note to companies, not all customers are going to be completely honest with the data that they input into your system.
Exactly. But what's great is that each level does unlock. So, the first level, I forget what it's called. I
Oh,
forget the levels, but
yeah.
I just know you'll tell me because you'll look
The,
it
the,
up.
the first level is challenger.
Challenger.
Yeah.
And you get you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get some discounts. But I mean, you'll get like a discount code, but it's not, it'll be like 25% off, and maybe, it'll be like 25, and they give you a discount code. It's a discount for everything. It doesn't matter if it's on sale or not. It's the discount across the board. It's 25% outlet, sell items, clearance items. So you can find something, be like 20 pounds, and and you're all of a sudden you're getting a t-shirt or something that, or a shirt that would be 20 pounds, you're getting it for like 9 pounds. Because it's like you get a coupon, and then it's like 50% off sale, and then and it's like, what?
Whoop, whoop, whoop. I
And
love
then
that
you
though.
go, and then you get, at any level, I believe it is 50 points for a review.
Mhm.
And then you also get points based on your purchase,
There you go.
which is how
So
you accrue your points. So the more you purchase, the more points you get.
exactly, but then it shows the company that you're a more valuable customer, and then they
Yeah.
tailor different actions to you essentially.
Yep. And then you get discounts for like the Runtastic app, which is like a specifically focused app for people that want to run. You get 3 months discount or something like that when you go up another level. You get previews. So like I got the preview of Ivy Park before, everybody was like, oh, Ivy Park. And I'm like, yeah, I already saw it. You get the preview about what they're going to launch, and they're like, you actually get access to it before everybody else does.
Mhm. Do they
So,
do they incentivize social media sharing at all? Like, do you get
oh,
points
yeah.
if you were to
Oh,
tweet
yeah.
it, etc.?
So they have this thing where you can take pictures of you in your clothes doing whatever activity you're doing, and you can share it to Instagram as long as you tag them. I do believe you might get points for that also. I am, as you know, I am not the
I know
social
I
media
know you
photo
are not the
person.
target customer fit for that.
I should, because when I send you pictures and I send other people pictures, closed within our little pocket of existence, I'm
Yeah,
usually kitted out in my Adidas gear. So
yeah.
So I really probably should do that, because that's the only gear I wear. I think the only thing that I have on when I go out for workout is probably my underwear. It's not Adidas, but my socks are, my sneakers are, my running tights are, my t-shirt is, my running jacket. My hat isn't, and that's just because the
Not
hats were
not
sold
yet.
out,
Not yet.
and the gloves are sold out.
You better
So
send them this interview because they better send you a hat and gloves. Seriously, at minimum.
but like everything else is like kitted out, and it's I'm probably thinking my neighbors probably think like, does she work for them?
Maybe someday.
Because
Brand
it's only
ambassador.
that was that actually they're on my top 5 of places of I wanted to work. Top 5, hands down.
I believe it
I
because
said this
yeah,
like 10 years ago, hands down.
I believe it. I mean, my short list of companies that I want to work for, it directly correlates to companies where I use their products and services religiously. I mean, if you're already a brand ambassador, going inside and working in corporate and actually driving the strategy, it makes so much more sense. The jobs that I've been the worst at are the ones where I was kind of like, I could maybe do that, but I didn't have the affinity for it. It's such a game changer when you have affinity. But
Oh
back to
yeah.
that point about social sharing. So I think, there's been an interesting trend there, especially like for me, I noticed this with ASOS a lot, where, they have a really great ambassador program as well, which they've kind of put into like different influencers, etc.
Yeah.
And one thing that they do is they take that user generated content and that people are sharing on social wearing their clothing that they sell as a way to show like different women's body types in that clothing, because one model can only show you so much. So I don't shop the Adidas website much, although you're talking me into wanting to do it more because I need some new leggings. But is that something you've noticed is being integrated on the product pages as well?
Yeah, and they do it, actually they kind of target it based on your size.
Mm,
So like they'll show you the Instagram photos, and it's also in the review, so they have it tabbed out. So it's like,
Okay.
you can see what the sneakers or whatever, you can see what the product is, you can see the makeup of the product, you can see, the reviews of people. And then there's the tab, which is, like, show how people have worn it. And they have like a nice collage board of like the Instagram feeds of people where they've tagged it, shown how they've worn it. And then also it's sort of, I found that because I've never seen photos of people that are not similar in size to me.
Hmm.
I think when I'm logged out and I just, clear all the cookies and the cache and everything, I will see that and it'll be a generalized feed. But when I am actually logged in, the feed is usually the Instagram. I've noticed it is more about people that are similar in size,
Wow, that's
which
really
is,
nicely done
and
marketing.
I'm just like, you never really think about it. And then one day I was like, I've never seen somebody uber skinny wearing this sports bra. And granted, yeah, it's a different type of bra for different sizes, but still, they have that across the board. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, they're
That's
going off
interesting
of
because
the algorithms going off of my size.
well, for me, it sounds like, I mean, I'm always really curious then to get under the hood. I wish we could interview someone, from Adidas to understand like what software are they using, how have they built their CRM out? Because when I was at Dunkin', we actually launched the loyalty program and then relaunched it again after. And, the holy grail for us was going to be how we could integrate social media with the loyalty program to really we wanted to be able, when we're engaging with a customer, whether it's on the phone with customer care or on social media, we wanted to be able to see like, is this person in our loyalty program? What kind of products do they like to consume? So you could see the similarities kind of with what Adidas is doing for you, where they're personalizing your shopping experience based on what they know about you, and specifically with the size. Like, that's actually really cool. And imagine if in the future you could actually get even the product pages, because if more businesses start using models of different sizes plus that user generated content, that could even be even more personalized, which I think would, I always find that I buy more when I can see someone who kind of looks like my body type and I can say, oh yeah, like that looks like that's going to fit. I know I'm much more likely to feel confident about making that purchase.
Yeah, and they do that too. So when you go on the page and you have a specific size, they will have somebody who's similar. So they'll have a model and they'll be like, this model is this height and this size. And you can generally have a good feel. It's not going to be exactly the same, but they do that. That's how I can figure out whether or not a product is going to be good for me, because I like zone in.
I
I'm
do
like,
the same thing.
zone in the parts where I'm just like, I know that for me with a sports bra, it is that part under the arm. So I like zone in, look at the threading, look at how it fits. And it's like,
I hear
but I'm
you.
like, it's the same thing that you do when you're like buying a regular bra, like Marks and
Yeah,
Spencer's, like it's like you zone in totally.
because for every woman, that part of her body is going to be different, right? Like for me,
Exactly.
I'm quite tall, but I'm actually almost petite on the top. So I'm really short waisted. I'm like very long legs, which is nice. But like a lot of dresses don't fit me well because like the seam around the waist doesn't hit at the right part of my waist. So I'm always zooming in at like where it hits on the model's waist, because if it looks like a bit high, then I'm like, this is gonna fit. But if it looks like really low, it's just not gonna work.
It's crazy though when you think of how, I don't know, I would love to get under the hood and see what they're using.
I
It's-
would, just to
I think
see
that's the
like,
next mission. We need to find the person in charge of that. And like, hey, can we have a chat?
because
Because
I think the point we're trying to make is it feels so seamless, which is really the best practice, right? If you want to provide a better customer experience across touch points, you need to really think about how you can personalize that experience. So I think what would be interesting for you is once times improve and stores reopen, if you go back into the Adidas store, is your experience going to be more personalized because now they have so much more data on your purchasing habits? Versus, do you even want to go back to in-store because web is working so well for you?
Yeah. I think if I go to the store, it probably would be more personalized because that's one of the questions they ask you when you're in the store. It's kind
Mhm.
of like going to the Apple store, like
Yeah.
let's get that detail from you. Like, are you part of the creator club? And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, okay. And then you just like, let me find you in the database, log in. It's like, oh, well, based on your last purchase, these are the size sneakers you got. You want us to measure your feet to make sure that it's still the right size for you, or, that it's a better size because me measuring my feet, I'm going off my old sneakers. And, when you've worn sneakers for a while, even though they are your size, they sometimes are a little bit looser. So you're like, oh, well, maybe my feet are bigger.
And your feet swell during certain parts of the day. So maybe,
Exactly.
you went in the morning, but then you started working out a lot and realizing actually maybe you need to go up half a size. So, but
Exactly.
I think that's important. And, I was thinking about, because I was thinking about other loyalty programs I love, and I really like Sephora's loyalty program, but it's very transactional. So like when you check out online or you go up to the cash register, they're just like, oh, you've got this many points. Do you want like this free thing or this free thing? Versus like when you're interacting with the makeup artists in store and you're trying to look for like this shade of concealer, there's no technology saying, oh yeah, in the past you got this shade in another
Yeah.
brand, or I noticed you tend to like more full coverage foundation. There's no personalization there besides the expertise of the person you get. So I actually think that's brilliant if that can sync with that kind of in-store recommendation. And then if the person's like, oh, well, you run a lot, like, and they start getting into your fitness routine, they can also, kind of see when's the last time you purchased leggings, or maybe there's some new jackets, or that, you don't have
Yes.
hat and gloves yet.
That's also like a partnership opportunity for for brands, especially when it is around like sports brands with the things that you do, like what type of sunblock are you using? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, if you're using this sunblock, maybe you shouldn't get this headband, or maybe you shouldn't wear this t-shirt because when it mixes with sweat, it might discolor your shirt. I mean, there's all kinds of potentials that exist. Like for me, when I have like different types of socks. So the only socks I have are Adidas socks and socks that I get from tech conferences. That's it. I don't wear socks any other time except to bed and when I'm working out. That's it. Those are the two places that I wear socks. And so, and like the odd occasional, like to put in my winter boots, but then I think actually those are the ones I get at conferences. So,
Yeah.
who knew? But the thing is, like when it's lotion, when you have like your body and it's like lotioned up and you put socks on, it's like, is this going to discolor my white sock? Because some people don't realize that sometimes if you're wearing like a thin sock, you put lotion on and then your feet sweat, it discolors the sock.
Yeah.
Even when after it's washed, it like never gets back its true white. And I noticed this, I won't name the lotion brand, but I don't use them anymore.
That was what I was going to say. It's either the lotion brand, but also I think the reviews is really where the feedback loop is happening, and that's where you probably, it's tough because a company like Adidas is probably getting such a volume of reviews, so they probably need to use some sort of way to keyword search and look for kind of some of the common themes. But one would hope that they're kind of doing that to then make product improvements as they can.
Yeah.
And, I think reviews is just one way you can get customer feedback. I mean, of course, social media, but maybe even through the Creators Club, maybe there's other ways they could kind of add into that to get, for someone who's not incentivized to leave a review for points like you are, or just for
Well,
paying it
at
forward.
first, at
Yeah.
first I wasn't, but now I am. It's like it was almost like they really did pull me in because it's like I bought my things and then they like, oh, here, here's some points. And I was like, what's the points for? And then when I looked and I was like, oh, okay. And then it was like, oh, if you get this many points, you become this next level. And then I went and looked and I was like, ooh, incentive. I mean, I got some TV deal, some access to, I can't even remember what it was, but nonetheless, it worked for me because I am a Liverpool Football Club fan, and it gave me access to something that was going on, and I got a discount to watch
Yeah, which
on
is
top of
great.
my Liverpool Football Club TV. So it all works, but they are a well-oiled machine because of their sponsorship of football teams. They have a lot of data on that end. But I think with the Creator Club, this is helping them to design and figure out what their consumers want. And it is really because there is so much. Just my thing is I'm looking for a certain thing. I look at the reviews. It's like
Mhm.
I look, and I usually start out with the 1-star reviews. Like, what
Oh,
exactly is wrong with this? Just to see if it's something that would jive with me. Because it's like, if I go and it's like, oh, this size sports bra, and someone says, yeah, it doesn't fit really well under the arms, I'm going to be like, let me zoom in and take a look. And then I'm going to go to the 5 stars, and someone says, oh, well, it really does fit well. And then I'll be like, what size did they buy? What's their body shape? You know?
exactly. Well, and maybe there's an element of in the future being able to filter, because so I used to work at TripAdvisor, and something that we introduced while I was there was being able to filter reviews so you could better assess travelers like you, because and granted, it's not a perfect science, but where we first started was around like the type of traveler that you are, like solo traveler, kind of romantic holiday, family with kids, business traveler. That's one way to start. um,
Yeah.
but I could see Adidas using that as like a next level where like you should be able to filter for reviews based on people that are in a similar size range. That would make a lot of sense, just to say like, okay, like if this is a concern, let's look at people who have the same sports bra size as me.
Yeah. And even, you know what though? Even when sometimes people do have the same size, it's gonna fit differently. I
Hmm.
know we're just like
I know, I feel like I'm an
sun
angel. And
hiders.
also, I would have put like all that laundry and holiday decor away if I had known I was gonna. Maybe I got to go the reverse direction now. Oh, that's better. Okay.
See, and I'm just like,
Yeah, there we go.
if I go there, then it's like, oh, I could go here.
I mean,
But
are
then,
we
like
complaining
the
about
sun
sunshine in London?
is totally in my eyes right now.
But yeah, but I do think that could be a way to improve the program in the future, because for the general customer and for people in the loyalty program, being able to filter reviews for people that have kind of your same concerns, really important. But
Yeah.
I just think it's the tip of the iceberg, because they only launched this program in 2018 in the US. Then they brought it to the UK in the middle of 2019. And I pulled an interview from their August 2020 earnings, where at the time CEO kind of Casper Rorsted said, Creators Club member purchases account for more than 6% of online sales, but what they believe is that they have a 2x lifetime value compared
Yep.
to non-members. And they're literally adding millions of members into this program per quarter. So what I see with this is like, it's definitely a long-term play. Like they've had to invest a lot from a technology and resource standpoint into building this. And even though it's only 6% of sales now, you find all the Sukis, or you grow more people into being the Suki kind of customer, and you think about what that's going to do for the business over time. I find that really exciting.
Oh yeah. I know that I don't even think about looking anywhere else for equipment. It's like the first place I go to is gonna be that website. And I haven't bought a new hat because I don't want to get a new hat unless it's Adidas.
Send them the link to this interview and be like, where's my hat?
It's like, where's my hat? Where's my gloves? And and it's like nobody else actually comes up to standard for me,
Yeah.
because now it's just, mitigating the risk. Like, what if I buy something from there and I don't like it? Am I going to get the same customer service? Likely not, because I'm not one of their valued customers.
Yeah. I mean,
Whereas with,
the fact that they were willing to send you a new pair of shoes before they got the other ones back during the
yeah,
pandemic, that's a great example. And you would hope they would do that for any customer. But I think also seeing, your spend with them, you always hope that counts for something.
and I think with getting people to be part of the Creator Club, what happens is people are going to spend more and more. It's nothing. There is nothing greater than, and I'm not, I am not one of those people to be sucked in by things like that. But it's when you get that email and it's like, oh, here's a new deal for you. I can delete the ones from every other retailer.
Mhm.
You name it. I've bought dresses, like stuff from M&S. I don't care. I can delete the ones from grocery stores, from restaurants, from Deliveroo and Uber. Don't care. But it comes from Adidas. I will read that. I will read that, the full email. And then, of course, I do the thing that I don't do with anybody else. I click through. Most of the
So,
time, I won't
yeah.
click through. I click through. I'm just like, I know you people are tracking me. I know that you can see that I clicked through this from my email, and you can see whether or not I go and shop, if I put it on my wish list, if it's in my basket. I'm like, you've got me. As much as I tell everybody else, don't do this. This is the one company, they have got me, which is why, it's like, if I just go work there, then it's all the circles complete.
Well, I was going to say though, because your background is strategic and competitive intelligence, and you're very happy to kind of share your data with them, which I think speaks volumes, because they've kind of gained your trust over the years, and through kind of their how they've executed this loyalty program. So I guess, should we summarize? Let's summarize what we really like, what you really like about the program. Would you say what are your kind of 3 to 5 kind of best things they've done in this program?
the the way they incentivize, the manner in which they incentivize, it's not pushy. So they will just give you discounts. It'll sit in there, just sit, the code will just sit in your account, and they'll say, oh, you know what, you've moved up to this level, or you've got a new code. That's it. They won't constantly harangue you with emails going, hey, you're going to use your code, you're going to use your code. Never happens. Never happens.
That's great.
Also, it's personalized. You can get those personalized emails, so I don't have to get an email and it's a newsletter with every single sports in it. It's just the ones that I have said that I'm interested in, and it's also just the equipment or just the clothing that I'm interested in, so they personalized it. And I for me, I like the fact that you get a discount code, you can use it anywhere. You can use it anywhere on the website. It can be for, something that's on sale, on clearance, or something that's in the outlet. A lot of companies won't do that. They'll say, oh, 25%, and it'll be like only 25% on full price merchandise. For
Mhm.
them, it's everything across the board.
That's great.
And I just, their clothes fit
Yeah, well,
good.
and I think that's an important point, because no matter how good a loyalty program is, if the products are not good and they don't live up to what you need them for, you're not going to buy. So it's the quality of the products combined with the customer service and the features of the loyalty program that are really what makes it all work. So then, okay, I know we got to wrap this up soon. What are 1 or 2 things you think they could do to improve the program? Like, what are there improvements they can make?
I'd say the one thing is, when you leave a review, it's like, I wish they had a way that you could actually search your own reviews, old reviews. I haven't figured out. I've looked, but I haven't seen a way to track, like, yeah, I reviewed this product on this date, and this was my handle, because I was like, what did I put my name as the first time? Because I didn't. You don't have to use your real name, because it's going to be out there.
Yeah. And you
And
probably shouldn't because it's going to be on all these websites.
yeah, and I couldn't remember, like, oh yeah, I did leave a review for that. And you can look in your account, you left a review, but it doesn't give you the exact link to what you said. And it's like, you know what? When I wrote the review, yeah, this was perfect. Now that I've had it for a while, I do want to mention this. So when I do a review, I don't do a review within the first couple weeks. I will usually wait a month after I've worn
Okay.
something for a while so that I can give like a better representation of the product.
But that's actually also a really good piece of feedback for companies too, because I know as marketers, the minute we complete that transaction, probably after we know the product's been delivered, you're getting those email reminders to leave reviews. And depending on the product, it might make sense to leave a reminder 1 week, 1 month, a couple
Yeah,
months after you've had it to actually get a better quality review.
yeah. It's I don't think it's just like Amazon. They haven't got that down yet. Their products, you buy something and they're like, leave a review. I'm like, I just opened the box.
Yes. Yeah, and I think we also said filtering by reviews, so you could read reviews for people more like in your size or
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm sure they're probably working on that.
Yeah, that seems like an easy enough. It depends on the software they're using, right? But that seems fairly configurable. So,
Yep. But yeah, hmm,
well, thank
love
you,
them.
Suki. Sorry, did you have anything else you wanted to
No,
say
no, no.
before we
I just said I love them. Can I
Yeah,
say?
I think we know who Adidas's next brand ambassador is going to be.
I just have to
You'd be on my
post the pictures of me and my gear.
maybe you should start. But thanks, Suki, for your time today. As a marketer myself, I love geeking out on these topics because I think one of the best ways we can learn is through personal experiences, and it's just a great reminder to marketers that each and every day is an opportunity. You're engaging with companies, you're purchasing from companies. There's so much you can learn from these interactions, both positive and negative. And I'm really happy you could take the time to share kind of your positive experiences with the Creators Club loyalty program, and also some good constructive feedback on how they could improve. Because should someone be from a business looking to launch a loyalty program or make it better, I think we've given them some really good ideas in this chat.
Indeed, we have. And thank you very much for having me, Jess. Always good to talk to you, and especially when we have the sun on our faces.
I know, I know. We went through like 6 degrees of weather here. But what I will do is I'm gonna get from Suki her social media links that she wants featured, and I'm gonna link all of them down below so you can follow this brilliant woman for more insights each and every day. So
Cool. Bye
thanks,
bye.
Suki. Bye, everyone.